Today, we have a very important story that is making waves across Nigeria, and it involves none other than Omoyele Sowore and the Department of State Services, DSS. If you are watching this right now, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you stay updated with the latest news and insights. Trust me, you don't want to miss what is coming next. So here is what happened. The DSS has filed a 5-count charge against Omoyele Sowore, the activist and journalist. And this charge arises from statements he made on social media where he allegedly referred to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a criminal. This case is unfolding in real time and it is capturing the attention of Nigerians, activists, journalists, and even the international community. In court, Sowore pleaded not guilty to all 5 charges. The Federal High Court in Abuja, presided over by Justice Mohammed Umar, granted him bail on self-recognition but issued a clear warning. Sowore was told that any further statements that could be interpreted as inciting or capable of undermining public peace would lead to the immediate revocation of his bail. So, this is a situation that is serious, yet it shows that the judicial system is giving room for legal defense. Now, it's important to understand why this case is significant. On one side, we have the government and the DSS arguing that Sowore's statements were false, malicious, and capable of inciting unrest. They are grounding their case on recent amendments to the Cybercrimes Act, as well as provisions under the Criminal Code that relate to defamation and spreading false information. Essentially, the DSS believes that calling a sitting president a criminal without proof crosses the line into unlawful behavior that can disturb national peace. On the other side, we have Sowore and his supporters, who are framing this as a fundamental free speech issue. They argue that citizens have the right to criticize their leaders, to hold them accountable, and to express opinions, even strong opinions, about the government and its officials. Sowore's legal team is pushing back, asserting that this prosecution could have broader implications for freedom of expression in Nigeria. This case is particularly interesting because it doesn't just involve Sowore. The charge sheet names social media platforms, X and Meta, as co-defendants. This raises a lot of questions. For example, if you post something online and it is considered defamatory or inciting, can the platform hosting that content also be held responsible? The answer to that could have major implications for how Nigerians and people around the world interact on social media. So if you are someone who spends time on X, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, this case is something to watch closely. What happened in court is also worth noting. Sowore was allowed bail, but the court made it very clear that this is not a free pass. The court emphasized that any future statements that are considered provocative or potentially destabilizing could result in immediate consequences. This shows a careful balance. The court recognizes the right to legal defense and due process, but it is also sending a message about the limits of public statements and social responsibility. It's also worth noting the timing of this case. We are living in a time when social media is a major platform for political discourse, activism, and public opinion. Nigerians, especially the younger generation, are very active online, discussing government policies, leadership, and national issues. This case will set a precedent, not just for Sowore, but for anyone who uses social media to express opinions about public officials. Now, think about this. If you are a journalist, activist, or even a regular citizen, you may ask yourself, how far can I go in criticizing leaders? What statements are considered acceptable, and what might land me in court? This is why the Sowore case is not just about one person. It is about all of us, our rights, and the boundaries of online expression. The government's perspective is clear. They want to maintain order, ensure that information shared online does not incite unrest, and protect the reputation of public officials. Sowore's perspective is equally important. He argues that freedom of speech is a cornerstone of democracy, and that citizens must be allowed to voice dissent even in strong terms. If you are enjoying this discussion and finding it informative, make sure to hit the like button. It helps us reach more people and ensures you get more content like this. Also, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss updates on this story as it develops. Looking at the bigger picture, this trial has implications for Nigeria's democracy. It touches on questions like, how do we balance freedom of expression with respect for law and order? How do we ensure that criticism of public officials is allowed, but that false and malicious statements don't destabilize the country? These are complex issues, but they are essential to understand, especially as citizens who are increasingly engaging online. The public reaction has been varied. Some Nigerians view this as a necessary measure, arguing that public figures should not be defamed and that laws exist to protect everyone. Others see it as a potential threat to free speech, worrying that it may create a chilling effect where people are afraid to express opinions online. This divide in public perception makes the story even more compelling. The DSS is emphasizing that this is not about silencing dissent, but about ensuring statements are truthful and do not incite unrest. Sowore and his team, meanwhile, are stressing that this case is about standing up for civil liberties and ensuring that citizens can hold leaders accountable without fear of prosecution. It is also interesting to note that Sowore has filed a countersuit against the DSS and the social media platforms. This shows that the case is evolving beyond a simple criminal charge. It is becoming a broader legal debate about the responsibilities of platforms, the limits of speech, and the role of government in regulating online content. The legal teams are preparing for a trial, and Nigerians are watching closely. Every court session, every legal argument, and every statement from the parties involved is being analyzed by lawyers, journalists, and ordinary citizens alike. This is shaping up to be one of the most important cases concerning freedom of expression in recent years. It's also important to consider the potential outcomes. If the court rules in favor of DSS, it could mean stricter control over online speech, possibly leading to more caution in what people post or say online. If the court rules in favor of Sowore, it could reinforce the right to criticize leaders openly, encouraging more people to speak up without fear. Remember, if you are following this story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think calling a president a criminal online should be considered free speech, or should there be limits? Your opinion matters, and this is exactly the kind of discussion we want to have here. This case is also a reflection of Nigeria's evolving democracy. It shows the tension between authority and activism, law and liberty, control and freedom. Citizens, especially young Nigerians, are now more empowered than ever to voice opinions, organize, and engage in political discourse online. But with this power comes responsibility, and the law is now testing where that line is drawn. Sowore's case is not happening in isolation. Similar cases around the world have raised questions about online speech, defamation, and government accountability. Social media companies like X and Meta are increasingly in the spotlight as governments seek to hold them accountable for content on their platforms. This is a global debate, and Nigeria is now part of that conversation. For many Nigerians, the key question is, can we have robust criticism of leaders without fear of legal consequences? Can the courts ensure justice while protecting civil liberties? The answers to these questions will have far-reaching consequences for the country's political culture and civic engagement. So, as we continue to follow this case, we will bring you every update, every development, and every key argument from court. Make sure to stay connected, like this video, and subscribe for continuous coverage.